Alright, enough of that.
Real trap shit.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Based in Ming Fantasy Football Podcast. My name is Adam.
And I'm the Ming Dynasty.
And today, this is the first episode of the SSML podcast. So, today we're going to be covering the SSML preseason power rankings. I know that it's been about 2 weeks since the draft or something like that, and some shit has gone down, Ming.
Yeah, whoever's Jarek McKinnon's real fucked.
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck.
I think it's... Is that Northy? Is that Northy?
No, well, that is E Northy. But...
Oh, a Northy.
Yeah.
Not the Northy.
And, you know what? I think it's best to start off on a very sour note with Great and Northy's team. Ming, if we can take a look at the rankings here.
Is that who we're starting with here?
Yeah,
The young Northy?
Yeah.
Alright.
So after a little bit of discussion just before the episode, I think one thing that we can totally agree on is that Graydon's team is a pile of shit.
Yeah, as you can see here on my rankings that I've put together and compiled over the last few weeks, Graydon's team, who I believe is the lovely Pimpin and Breesy here, despite not even having Drew Brees, ranked 10th in the quarterback category, and then 8th and 7th in running back and wide receiver, giving him an average rank using a very complicated algorithm, bringing him an 8.33 ranking
Math was
average.
used, folks.
A very complicated algorithm that leaves him at an average ranking of 8.33, which is 12th placing in the league.
I think that anybody could take a look at all the rosters on this team and rank this team last. And frankly, the only redeeming factor about this team is its wide receivers. Now, can we go to Graydon's team here?
Yeah, we're going to take
Pimpin'
a look at
Breesy.
this team here. Pimpin' ain't Breesy.
I mean, like, this is the only team in the league, and I frankly think that there is going to be a lot of parity this year, but this is the only team that I can label as truly bad. I mean, like, he's got some great wide receivers in Julio Jones and Devontae Adams, but otherwise, I'm just not seeing it. I mean, Kareem Hunt, I just don't think he has the upside that he had in his rookie year. Of course, he's going to be in a committee with Spencer Wareback. And of course, he lost his prized possession, his big name RB2, and McKinnon, who tore his ACL a couple of days ago.
Yeah, it's unfortunate about McKinnon. I'm not seeing him here on the IR, so we didn't even give him a
we don't have an IR spot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we just straight up dropped
News
him.
to me. No bench, no IR. This league, man. But there is definitely a lot of question marks on this team. We got Andy Dalton, who is Andy Dalton. Like, he may as well just change his name to Andy Dalton with a question mark at the end. And we got Ryan Tannehill, who hasn't played in 2 years.
Welcome back, Ryan.
Yeah, Ryan. Hey, great to see you, man. But yeah, big studs in Devontae Adams and Julio Jones. But Josh Doxson.
I mean, there's so many options in Washington, right?
Is
it going to be Crowder, or is it going to be Doxson's year too?
Or is it Jordan Reed maybe playing 16 games and hogging all the red zone targets?
It would be a miracle.
It will be a miracle. So him as an RB3, or sorry, a wide receiver 3, I just can't see it. I can't see it. Maybe a flex, possibly, but it'd have to be a pretty deep flex. The one thing about Graydon's team that separates himself from everyone else at being worse than everyone else by far is that bench.
Oh man, I mean, he just spent his budget. I think it was actually the first stun.
How much did he spend on?
Well, I mean, he got a Devontae Adams at about 39, and then Julio Jones just went way above what I was expecting. He just spent early and often, man, and before you knew it, he was down to like $5 for 5 positions.
Yeah, like if we're taking a look at his auction history here, in his first 5 players, he spent basically all of his money.
$19 on Mark Ingram, who isn't going to be back until week 7.
So he basically spent $61 on Mark Ingram, or sorry, $19 on Mark Ingram, $32 on McKinnon, so $51 on players that aren't going to play this season or aren't playing until week 5. The thing with that bench of his is that, especially with Des Bryant not being on a team, if he suffers any injuries in the first couple weeks, we could see him in a very bad spot.
And didn't he come last season?
And I can't get that sight out of my head, man. Him outside in the cold, suffering.
I gotta say, both those Northies pull off the dad bod pretty well.
Like, oh man, yeah.
Another thing to note though, deep in our constitution, actually, the rule is if you come last 2 seasons in a row, you're suspended for the year, for next season. So, I mean, this is a huge season for Graydon, and he is not coming out the gate that great.
Like, I would hate to see Graydon have to come last place 2 years in a row because I really, really want Rob to be expelled from the league. And having Graydon get suspended, we might be forced almost to keep Rob, which would be, I don't know if we could risk another year of him not showing up to a draft.
I know, and I miss his pretty face, his beard. You know, every once in a while I'd stroke it, and it would make my day. But I guess he's stuck in Langley. It's a long drive, Rob. I totally understand.
I'm starting to get flashbacks of Colton Daniel here. You could say like Rob and Colton are like very similar people.
Both their time is very important to them.
Yeah, I'm starting to see it. Yeah, Rob, you could be really good friends with Colton. You guys should like reconnect.
Have a beer together.
I think you guys like were really good friends last time you guys saw each other too.
I totally agree.
Was there witnesses to that? Like, who was there?
Oh man, can you fill me in on what happened?
Wasn't that when you got a ride back from Majors with Rob?
Shit, that was the most awkward ride in the world.
Oh man, yeah, like BFFs. They were meant for each other. Missing drafts, ghosting the league.
I mean, they were on milk cartons, man.
If there's one thing that Colton would do in the league that Rob didn't, it was make the playoffs consistently. So, there was that.
I mean, Colton had that huge upset against Norley. I mean, that was Norley's championship year.
Yeah.
Like, best roster in the league, bar none, and Colton just went out and destroyed him in that playoff game. Anyways, I'm done reminiscing about
past managers who don't even have a job in the league these days.
Yeah. Should we go on to number 11? So number 12, we have...
Okay, just 1 second here, though. I love George Kittle. George Kittle is the man. And there's one thing that I'm not seeing on the roster right now is George Kittle. George Kittle is going to be the guy.
Over Delaney Walker?
No, think about this. George Kittle... No Jerick McKinnon in San Francisco.
They're going to be tossing.
Who's the safety blanket now? Who are they throwing to? It ain't Alfred Morris.
George Kittle has been my tight end number 2 for pretty much every draft I've done.
Does Marquise Lee even know how to run less than 20 yards straight in a straight line?
Huh.
George Kittle, though, go look him up player profile. The guy's got physical attributes. Speed, agility, Spark X score, dominator rating.
Well, I've got physical attributes as well, but it doesn't mean they're very good.
Yeah, going up against offensive linemen, maybe.
Yeah.
All right, so enough about this dumpster fire of a team. We're going to move on to number 11. At number 11, we have our good friend Connor Sliman.
Interesting.
Let's take a look and see what he's working with here. As you can see, we had Connor at 11th in quarterback ratings. He's being saved, though, by his running backs, which we have ranked at 2nd, which is very generous.
I gotta say, 2nd is a good rating. I think he has some scary RBs, but he's middling in every other position. I mean, like, Patrick Mahomes and Dak Prescott are nothing to write home about for quarterbacks. I mean, Mahomes has upside, but that offense in Dallas is not going to be anything special except for Ezekiel Elliott.
Here's the thing about his running backs ranked at 2. I made those running back rankings a week and a half ago-ish. Le'Veon Bell didn't show up to practice this morning.
Yeah, and that's another concern. I mean, is he going to be in for week 1? And even if he is there for week 1, he's missed all of training camp, so he's probably going to be rusty on both the game plan, and who knows if he's been keeping up his training. I assume he has. Khalil Mack has.
I did read something today that currently he is on vacation with his kid and mom. So we're like 5 days away from opening day.
So by
and
mom,
he's on vacation.
By mom, do you mean like baby mama or his actual mother?
His own mother.
Okay.
His own mother, we should tell him, go get that $25 million franchise tag while you can.
Jesus.
Got a game on Sunday. But no, he's on vacation. But here, if I had to redo these rankings for running backs, I might make an alteration because looking at it, you got Le'Veon Bell not showing to practice, Devontae Freeman and Dion Lewis, who are both not cowbell backs. You got Tevin Coleman in Atlanta, and you have Derrick Henry in Tennessee.
Well, I've been hearing good things about Dion Lewis in camp. I think that he could possibly overtake Henry for that job. Not necessarily like all the carries as a bell cow role, but I think he's the perfect flex player.
Dion Lewis will be their third down guy, their change of pace, their maybe line up in the slot once in a while, but there's no chance you'll see a Dion Lewis on a first or second down, barring any injuries to Derek.
I'd be fine with him as a running back too, man.
Did I say Derek Lewis or Derek Henry?
Derek Henry, I think.
No, the first time.
Oh, Derek Lewis. Who cares?
Derek Lewis is a UFC fighter. the Black Beast, as they call him. But yeah, so there's a lot of question marks in that backfield. Devontae Freeman's got some injury history. Tevin Coleman is a more technically talented back. If Devontae Freeman were even go down for a couple games, Tevin Coleman could run away with that job. And for a team that I rank number 2 in running backs, there could be some slight alterations made there if they were completely updated.
So you have him ranked number 11 for wide receiver, right? And number 11 for quarterbacks. Now, I know his quarterbacks aren't nothing special to write home about, but I still think that Patrick Mahomes has some crazy upside.
Oh, yeah.
Personally, I don't have the balls to take him where Connor did or pay what Connor did for him, but I think that Chiefs offense could be something special.
Yeah, no, they're definitely upside plays. Like, I'll tell you the same thing when we get to my team. I rank my running backs 11th. They're upside picks. Dak Prescott, coming off a bad year, potential to be a fantasy stud. Mm-hmm. He's a rushing back. He can put up the rushing yards. Some rushing touchdowns right there could play a big role in his stats throughout the year. Patrick Mahomes, there's no sample size. He's a rookie. He's got weapons. He's got an arm. He could be there. I just saw that there was more solidified, proven quarterbacks on other teams that are ranked ahead of him.
I can agree with that. I just don't know if he's the 11th team. I still think that there's some worse teams out here, but this is just going by your previous 3 power rankings, right? Just kind of how the algorithm landed.
Yeah, like if we
because I actually have him rated around fourth, actually. I think he has a solid team. I think he just has a lot of middling guys, and this is just assuming that Le'Veon is going to show up for week 1.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
This is new news, so of course we do have to adjust our rankings accordingly. But assuming Le'Veon shows up, I actually had him at number 4 just because of his scary running backs.
So yeah, his team definitely is very reliant on Le'Veon Bell and Devontae Freeman. One thing I like about his team is that he has some nice high floor bench players. So like in this league where we only have 4 bench spots, we have to be very careful. It's hard to have high upside guys because those high upside guys usually aren't starters at the gate, or if they are, they're not being drafted where they're currently being projected. Love Kenny Golladay, complete stud, has Marvin Jones and Golden Tate ahead of him. If there's an injury to any of those guys, we could very well see
moving on up.
Yeah, well, Kenny Golladay could be the guy. He could be the guy. And Bilal Powell, always underrated every single year. So we could, like, if someone were to go down in a PPR league like ours, he could slot in right away and give you at least 10 points a week.
Totally agree. Anything else to say about number 11, Connor Sliman?
No, I think Connor's team is looking pretty solid for being ranked 11th. I think he's probably got the most room to improve here.
It's a high 11, folks. I still think that there's a lot of parity in this league, and you'll see with their number 10 ranking here that the teams are very equal this year. So up next at number 10, we have KerryonMyWaywardSon. And there's quite a lot of deviation between me and Ming's power rankings here. Just one moment here. I'm quite surprised that he's ranked 10th according to Ming's algorithm, because I actually had Northy, KerryonMyWaywardSon, ranked number 3 in my rankings. I think that he has a complete team with some feast or famine players that could either disappoint him greatly or put this team at the very top of the league. We have his team up here. So let's start with the quarterbacks. I mean, we've got Mariota and Andrew Luck, and they both have major upside.
Oh, yeah.
But at the same time, of course, you got Luck's shoulder. Is that still an issue? Is he throwing perfect spirals yet?
As a manager who got burned by Luck in 3 leagues last year, had him stashed in my IR for 6 months. It was a sad, sad time. I just can't put a lot of faith in him. Maybe it's biased. Like, if Andrew Luck can get back to 80% of what he was, then, hey, this team is going to be great.
That's almost on Jay Cutler's level.
He's got Andrew Luck, high upside. Alex Smith, safest pick you can possibly make at the quarterback position. Like, has Alex Smith ever had a truly poor season?
I don't think you remember San Francisco Alex Smith, man.
Truly poor. No, he is. You know what you're getting. You draft him. You're not going there thinking he's gonna throw 30 touchdowns. You're not going there thinking he's gonna lose his job, because he ain't gonna lose his job. But he's going to put the most mediocre stats in any quarterback. You draft him for mediocrity because that's what you want.
I think if you look back at the rankings last season, he actually outperformed his ranking hugely. He had a huge year last year.
Last year was his best season in the NFL, by far, fantasy-wise. But we got to look at what he's got on the bench. Marcus Mariota. That is a high upside pick. He went into last year being drafted as a top 10 quarterback.
I know, and he was just so inconsistent that year. I mean, like, I think 2 years ago, Mariota was going very high last year. Are people going to chase that potential that he flashed in 2016? Obviously, Northey has.
So this is where I like his quarterbacks. He's got 1 safe quarterback, 2 high upside quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. If he just needs one of those guys to hit, and he's solid for the year, barring injury. So if I have him ranked 7th in quarterbacks, yeah, that's probably about right. He's probably in that range. He's got question marks all around. That 7 could turn into could very well be a 2 or 3 in a few weeks' time on someone's power rankings.
And you have him ranked 7th at running back. And let's just take a look at what he has here. So right now I see that he has McCaffrey in his number 1 slot and LaShawn McCoy. Now, I think these are some more feast or famine players. Christian McCaffrey, of course, I don't know if you watched him during preseason. He had that huge, beautiful run. I forget which team it was against, but he really flashed what potentially he had. And then, of course, you got the classic LaShawn McCoy.
Okay, so news came out from LaShawn McCoy today that he will play week 1. The investigation is still ongoing. So if LaShawn McCoy wasn't a question mark to play at all or get suspended this year, he would have been drafted higher for more money, and maybe he'd be ranked higher as well.
I mean,
on my list.
If his case gets dismissed by the league, I think he shoots up the rankings quite a bit. But you also have to consider what a shit show it is in Buffalo right now. That offense is going to be anemic, except for LaShawn McCoy. And also you have to account for the fact that LaShawn McCoy is turning 30 this year, or I think he already is. You know what happens when running backs hit 30, right, Josh? They generally decline.
They generally just flat out die. And maybe then, hey, being ranked at 7, then maybe I'm not wrong. Maybe they will stick around the middle of the pack because McCaffrey might carry the team. And who knows? LaShawn McCoy might have actually broke into that house and did whatever he did.
More to come.
More to come, yeah. Well, we'll find out. And he, like, his bench ain't lacking. He's got Marlon Mack, who's supposed to be the starter if he actually starts or plays. And Kerryon Johnson, who unfortunately for Detroit have never had an actual real number 1 running back.
They didn't roster a single 600-yard pass or rusher last season.
It's because
terrible run game.
It's because Amir Abdul can only run 1.5 yards a rush, and when they realized that, they just sort of theoretical all day.
God, do you remember when he was a sleeper pick?
Sleeper pick because he made that one juke in preseason like 2 years ago. Yeah, oh yeah, he makes
like 4th rounds.
Makes one flash move and suddenly he's a top 20 guy.
Chasing the value.
Oh yeah, guy just knows how to jukes.
I don't think he has a bad bench, but definitely a weakness of his team is his wide receivers. And I just don't think he has that guy who can go off for 40 points, unfortunately. Diggs is definitely somewhat capable of this, but at the same time, that defense in Minnesota is going to entice the offense to run the ball as they defend their leads.
Yeah, I'm a big Diggs guy, but I think he's being overrated this year in fantasy drafts. He's got the talent, but he's got Kirk Cousins, who obviously is an upgrade, but is also a part of the problem with him being overrated. Thielen is being ranked right around him, so if you want to draft the Minnesota offense. You're paying a low 2, high 3 for one of them, another 3 for Thielen. Kirk Cousins is going somewhere in there on a 2 QB league. Diggs is a more talented quarterback, but it's a matter of that offensive line giving Kirk Cousins time to throw the ball to Diggs.
Would you rather have Thielen or Diggs?
Depends on what my other wide receivers look like. If I need a high upside guy, I'm going Diggs. If I need a safe guy, I'm going Thielen.
Interesting.
Thielen's more Diggs is like a Marvin Jones type guy to me. He's gonna maybe catch at his ceiling like 70 passes, get 8 to 10 touchdowns, 1,000 yards. Thielen could catch 100 passes easily, put up 1,200 to 1,500 yards like he did last year, but not get the 10 touchdowns. He might get 4 to 6. He's got a higher floor. Diggs is a guy like he could go off. He could go off. He could put up 1,400 yards and 14 touchdowns.
Could see it.
And Allen Robinson like here.
Love to see it.
Oh, he could. But I'm just not
against the Bears.
I'm just not drafting him in the 3rd. That's just not happening. Let's go take a look and see what Mr. Northy paid for some of his guys here. Let's take a look.
Carry on my wayward son. I actually like the Redemption Tour name better, but
yeah,
I guess it's more football.
Not a fan of this new name of his. Let's see. So we got.
Oh, and you know what? We forgot one huge thing about his team.
What's that?
He has Rob Gronkowski.
He is Rob Gronkowski. That's true. And
that puts him at a huge advantage. I think that is a reason why he is so high up in my rankings.
And he paid a lot less than what my drunk self paid for him last year.
How much did you pay for him again?
Like 40. Yeah.
Jeez.
So I had like Antonio Brown, Gronk, and that was over. That's it. GG. But yeah, he spread out his money real well. I think McCaffrey at 31 might be one of those guys you look back on and it looks like a steal. Diggs at 33 is another. It's just more evidence that I think he's overvalued this year. I don't think $33 would be like even you can see beside Adam Thielen for $27. Like they're both in that $30 range. I feel like there's better guys you can get than that for $33. But yeah, he definitely spread his money around well. He's got a well balanced team.
I don't see any real gaps.
No, yeah, like being ranked 779, you're basically in the middle for all of it. There's a lot of teams. I'm looking at the list right now that will be like ranked 1, but be weak in other areas. He balanced out. He doesn't have glaring weaknesses. It should do okay for him. I don't see Logan being the guy on the streets this year.
By the way, Northy, I'm coming for that ass in week 1.
Ooh, who's coming for that ass?
Real trap shit.
Damn, son. Alright, so moving on from the eldest Northy, we're moving on to
number 9.
Tied for 8. So we have Logan and Dustin Adamson.
I gotta say, Dustin has the worst one out of the 2. I would have to put him at 9.
Yeah, I would say Dustin seemed to have definitely the most glaring weakness at running back there. Like when you're starting Adrian Peterson in a fantasy league when he's in 2018, like he deserved to be in the number 12 spot.
I'll commend him on this. He has some fantastic quarterbacks in Drew Brees and Phillip Rivers. And let me tell you, I'm a huge fan of Rivers this year. I'm a fan of the Chargers in general. Melvin Gordon, Keenan Allen. That defense is going to be crazy good this season. I expect them to come out of the AFC or do really well in the AFC this year. Particularly weak division and conference.
Yeah, he definitely went for those older, more proven quarterbacks. And Phillip Rivers coming off a great year, so I'm not saying he's a buy low guy. But Drew Brees passed the ball the least amount of times in this decade. So he's coming off his worst season in a long time. So he bought it at a discount. But there's the only reason they didn't pass balls much because they had Mark Ingram and Alvin Kamara on fire last year. Mm-hmm. And they actually have a defense now. The Saints have a good defense is one thing we haven't been able to say in a long, long time.
I remember they were bottom of the barrel for such a long time. They definitely took a lot of people by surprise last season. Let's see if they can keep it up because I definitely drafted the Saints defense this year.
Yeah, and like ADP and fantasy values are all based on last year. Mm-hmm. Drew Brees is going to come out flying this year again.
Set it and forget it, baby.
Hey, 4,500 yards, 30 touchdowns. Calling it now. Let's go.
So let's talk about these wide receivers. I mean, we got Allen Robinson, Golden Tate, and Tyreek Hill, and I think that they all have different strengths. Tyreek is obviously like the high upside guy. I mean, he has a new cannon-armed QB to throw to him, and he gets crazy separation. So
Yeah,
I think
the
you're
guy's
going to be
got
seeing,
talent for sure.
yeah, I mean, you're going to be seeing those 80-yard touchdowns every once in a while from him, and that just changes your week completely. Of course, you got Golden Tate, and he's the antithesis of consistency. You can rely on him for a solid 90 reception, 1,000-yard season. And then you got Allen Robinson, more high upside. He's going to be wide receiver 1 in Chicago.
Oh.
He's got troops passing to him.
I think
Looking forward to it.
Adam's the biggest Allen Robinson fanboy around.
I had him in 2014.
In the
Never
big
forget.
year,
Oh,
the
yeah.
1,400 yards, 14 touchdowns in
He was a sixth signing, man. I'm excited.
the Jaguars lineup. Yep. But Golden Tate, most receptions over the last 4 years next to Antonio Brown.
Not even surprised.
You can't, like 92 catches, 120 targets. Imagine if you got 150 targets, which is not going to happen.
No.
But if it did, that could be a top 5 wide receiver there. He's like a better Jarvis Landry.
That's seen something.
High catch percentage, but actually averages more than 5 yards per catch.
But let's not talk too long about the wide receivers. There is a glaring weakness on this squad, and I don't know if he's going to be able to overcome this. But man, those running backs,
especially in leagues like this where running backs are most crucial, because we're so focused on PPR catches, etc. If you have 2 spots in your lineup that are just putting up donuts every week, no matter how good your wide receivers are, you might not be able to make it.
and it's so hard to find quality running backs these days too. It's hard to find them on the waivers, and when they do go, I mean, you're going to be spending that full 200 fab for them if they aren't already on somebody else's bench, right? So I don't know, man.
This is one of those teams that are going to
Dustin, your running backs are trash, man. And I don't know what you were thinking Adrian Peterson on the Washington Redskins is an acceptable starter.
Now, in his defense, it's his first fantasy league at his first auction. The guy, I don't know, man. The guy's so used to saving his money in life that it just kind of carried over into his fantasy football strategy.
Well, at least he spent it all. There's another manager who left about $15 on the table, and we'll go more into that. But that's just poor efficiency standards. Overall, I think this is a team that can compete, but I don't think it will be making the playoffs this season.
Yeah, so like going over his draft history here, you could say, like, I don't know, $3 for Justin Tucker. I don't even draft kickers, but I guess if you want the
Sorry, how much did he spend for Justin Tucker?
$3 for Justin Tucker.
Ugh, yeah.
Hey, I don't know, man. Like, you're basically paying $3
It
for
doesn't
a
seem like a big deal at the time, but when you get down to those last 4 spots and you have $8,
hey, like there is,
yeah.
Justin Tucker and Dusty, like, they look pretty similar.
Can you bring that up on screen?
Yeah, I know we could do that. Because like it's. Let's see. We gotta get a picture here. Where's his draft? Or not his draft photos. Yeah, they don't look as close as I originally thought.
All in your head, man.
It must have been all in my head. Just white boys. That's all they are.
Forget about it.
Yeah.
Any other comments about Dustin's team? I think that at 9, that's
I like Jack Doyle. If Andrew looks back up to par, Jack Doyle's the guy.
nothing to write home about. But
No, yeah, because it's right now T.Y. Hilton and Ryan Grant. Who cares about Ryan Grant?
And of course, you have to worry about Andrew Luck even coming back to form.
Yeah, Andrew Luck needs to find a shoulder. You think all that money he makes, he'd be able to find a proper surgeon or just stem cell the shit out of it. Who knows?
All right.
So to the other tied for 8th spot guy, we got our own lawyer,
Logan Rogers.
Ooh yeah.
And you know he's going to be yelling at the screen right now, eh? If he's listening to this.
The guy's a lawyer and he's probably not even top 5 in this league in student debt.
He's probably filing a lawsuit against us as we speak. Hurt feelings.
It's probably not going to make it anywhere.
Let's bring up Logan's roster here.
Let's go over where I ranked him here. So, before looking at his team again, I had him ranked 8th at QB, 10th at running back, 3rd at wide receiver. Give him a nice 7 average. His wide receiver is very strong. Running backs is something else he needs from that. He's going to need to find the waiver wire. But if we look at his team on the screen here, yeah.
I mean, it's a roster filled with major upside, but it's lacking that safe floor. I mean, it has the potential to be the best roster in the league, I think.
Here.
But there's going to be so many variables.
Here's my hot take.
And so many things that he's gambling on here.
Rodgers is going to have to start Baker Mayfield for the first few weeks.
Yeah, I mean, Carson Wentz is not going to be there for week 1.
Baker Mayfield ain't even starting.
Is it Tyrod?
Tyrod Taylor. You know why? Carson Wentz ain't playing week 1, I'm telling you right now.
He isn't. I think it's pretty much confirmed. He's still recovering from rehab.
Hasn't been cleared for contact. He's got Jameis Winston on the bench and Baker Mayfield.
And you know what? How long is this going to be? Is this going to be week 1 or is this going to extend out to like week 4?
Yo, how long before Logan's on the phone trying to get Case Keenum off me for $5 waiver dollars?
Is that what you're charging?
No, that's what he's going to offer. And I'm going to
lowball him.
No, I'm going to ask for 50.
See, this is why you need a backup quarterback, one that's actually starting. So, I mean, like, he's going to have Jameis Winston in 3 weeks.
It's not in the fact of, you sure, draft a backup quarterback. But if you draft Carson Wentz knowing he's injured, you don't draft Baker Mayfield. And
okay,
Jameis Winston,
to be fair, though, like, it did seem like Wentz was going to be coming back in time for the season opener, but I just don't think he's going to be starting on Thursday Night Football, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, I don't expect him to. Like, who do we got? Nick Foles? Who is Nick Foles?
Pardon?
Is Nick Foles on the waivers?
He is on the waivers, but I have not heard good things about him in camp.
Hey, I haven't heard good things about Logan Rodgers' second QB spot.
Ooh.
I don't think he's gonna have anyone there.
Jeez.
Let's take a look. Here's some fantasy advice for you there, Logan. Go to your players list, type in Nick Foles, and pick him up before I do. It's probably be a wise start.
Oh, let's. You're on your team.
Oh, hey! Wow, that's a great team. Oh, jeez, eh?
Save it for last.
Yeah.
Let's talk about his running backs here. I mean, you got Joe Mixon.
I like Joe Mixon.
I do like Joe Mixon this year, and of course, I think everybody has heard it already. He's got Le'Veon characteristics, and they're expecting a huge leap in year 2 here.
My good friend Chris Harris of Chris Harris Fantasy Football podcast loves Joe Mixon, and I love Joe Mixon too.
Mixing it up. Logan was really pumped about Chris Carson, and he was raving when he was getting out of major leagues that he got Chris Carson for $1. Do you think he's really going to be that big of an impact player?
When Logan gets really excited about a player, especially when his name's Chris Carson, it's because he didn't actually want Chris Carson, and he's putting up a front and pretending that he's like, yeah, I got Chris Carson, but he was just trying to bid it up because he wanted someone else to have him. Nobody gets excited about having Chris Carson on their team. I got Rashad Penny on my team, and I'm not excited about that either. And I got him probably for 1/3 of the cost. Speaking of cost, if you go sign up for DraftKings with codename Based Ming, we'll match your first offer up to $10.
That's going to cost us, man.
Oh.
I don't have the coffers for that.
Oh, yeah. DraftKings,
sure?
$10. Using code word Based Ming. Use it now.
The shareholders aren't going to like this.
No, that was unauthorized.
Can we go back to Huskers here?
All right, so we have the Huskers team here, and how
of course
money
he has
spent.
his trademark Kelsey. Logan never leaves the draft without Kelsey.
You know what?
Team.
You know what?
$31.
You know what? I retract my last 30 seconds of speaking. He got Chris Carson for $1. I can get excited about Chris Carson for $1.
For $1.
For $1. That could be a guy who gets chemistry. You know what? I take it all back. I apologize.
Dude, that was a whole 2-minute rant.
That was a whole 2-minute rant.
Carson for $1.
You know what?
I gotta commend him. Like, that's great value at the end of the draft. But
replace Chris Carson with Royce Freeman. Nobody can be excited about Royce Freeman for $19.
I'm quite excited for Royce Freeman. Yeah, I have him on my radar.
I saw the headlines today. Oh, Royce Freeman's #1 on the depth chart again. I don't give a fuck.
You really don't like that Denver offense, eh? Dude. I mean, do you remember C.J. Anderson in, like, 2014, man?
Yeah.
Like, that was killer. He was an RB1.
Remember Devontae Booker?
Devontae Booker, fuck. I mean, like...
Who was the other guy?
It's just Devontae Booker and...
Yeah, but then C.J. Anderson got drafted in the first round and put up duds.
Hey, I didn't draft him, so not my problem.
True, I didn't do it either.
Yeah. I drafted him 5th last year, though. But, you know, that's totally irrelevant. Let's talk about his wide receivers here. So...
Keelan Cole. That's the man. Cole,
he's a man in Jacksonville. That's
Keelan Cole is better than Jarvis Landry.
I totally agree. I mean, Jarvis Landry is going to be competing for targets on a very diverse Browns offense. Who are they going to be throwing to? Do they have a competent passing offense? Is Baker Mayfield the guy? We don't know yet.
You know, Browns are going to win 4 games this year.
I'm going to say 5. They got talent, man. And in a weak AFC conference to boot.
All right, leave in the comments below. Do you think the Browns are going to win more than 4 or 5 games? Over or under? Let's see what the listeners think.
Biggest rebound ever, in my opinion. They're winning 5 this season.
Yeah, good to see. He's got his stud. He's got his DeAndre Hopkins. I know he's a big DeAndre guy. The Jarvis Landry pick, it's good. Good floor, good safe pick. Could bring back value. Joe Mixon, great pick. Ronald Jones, waste of a roster spot. Corey Davis could be a league winner.
Now, I'd like to talk more about Corey Davis. I mean, he was a number 5 pick last year in the NFL draft. He really showed his potential in the playoffs last season against New England, where he had something like 90 yards and 2 touchdowns. He looked like he was in sync with Mariota. I think he could be a huge player, and I'm really upset that I actually lost the bidding war to Logan. I just lost the bidding war for Hogan. I spent something like $19, and I was pretty happy with what I had.
Yeah, no, Corey Davis, like I said, he could be a league winner. He's got the talent.
Yeah.
There's draft
He's
capital.
somebody I'm
He's
targeting.
Got to get targets. Mariota's coming off his worst season. If Mariota picks it up, Corey Davis can only benefit from that.
I guess one final thing I'd like to talk about for this roster is Derek Carr.
$4. Steal.
$4 is a steal, I think Derek Carr, a lot of people forget that he didn't have a very good season, but you have to also account for the fact that he had an injured back last season. He was not playing to his full potential.
Yeah, no,
And that Raiders defense is absolute trash now that Khalil Mack is back. They're going to be tossing that ball left and right.
Derek Carr was being drafted as a top 10 quarterback last year. Comes in this year after an injured season, a down year. He can only give back more than what you paid for him. $4. It's not asking much. I feel like Rodgers probably should have been a bit more aggressive on getting a second quarterback after the Carson Wentz pick.
Just a usable one, man.
Or even picking someone who's actually starting instead of Jameis Winston. I'm sure there's Sam Bradford or Case Keenum or somebody. But Baker Mayfield and Winston, when you're trying to cover a guy who's probably not playing, by picking more guys who probably aren't playing, that's I don't know. That's some oversight.
I like I said, I'm just gonna reiterate this. This is a roster filled with major upside, but it lacks a safe floor. This has the potential to be the best roster in the league.
And we're back.
Just make sure the mic is working. A little bit of an earthquake. Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, no, it happens quick.
Ducking covered.
Okay.
It works.
Bow, 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 bow.
Okay. Alright, let's move on for Logan's team. Not talk about this kid, give him too much attention.
Yeah.
Let's see who we got. 7th place. Oh, is this it's a tied. Just didn't put the T. We got the Average Joes and Unraw Talent.
I'm gonna put some Unraw Talent at number 8.
Do we want to do that?
Or number 7 are we on?
Do we want to do that? Yeah, let's give it to him. Being dead last in a position should automatically give you the down there. I didn't have it on, so we'll go with the average Joes here being the worst team. QB's at number 1. It's good to see, but contrast that with the number 12 wide receiver. So the best in something, the worst in something. But if you're the worst in wide receiver, that means you're the worst in 4 positions, basically. 3 wide receivers and flex.
I mean, like, his team is set it and forget it for quarterback.
Yeah,
I mean, you got Aaron Rodgers.
What did you have for rankings for average Joes?
For average Joes, I had him at number 5.
Total?
Number 5 total. And
okay, so I have number 6.
Basically, my note on him was he undeniably has the best QBs in the league and has one of the better RB corps in the league as well. But his wide receivers are amongst the worst in the league by far.
All right, so I'm going to bring up his team here. We'll take a little look. Yeah, like without a doubt, Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers.
That's RB1 and 2 right there.
Yep.
How much did he spend on those guys?
Yeah, well, we'll definitely like go into that when we move over to the draft capital. But like when you spend that kind of money on 2 positions, you're kind of left thin for the
remaining ones.
Other 7 guys, right? Like Michael Crabtree, Emmanuel Sanders. Like this would have been great 3 years ago. They would have been great. RB or wide receiver 2 sitting there, but
I mean, Michael Crabtree is the wide receiver 1 for the Ravens, but it's the Ravens.
It's the Ravens.
Can't get excited about Flacco.
It's Joe Flacco. There's Crabtree there. There's who else do they have there? Slipping my mind now.
Brashad Perriman just got cut.
Yeah, no, he's
forehead.
He's doing a tryout for the Jets. Last I heard. But yeah, it's Flacco. They're moving over to runs. Alex Collins, the guy there. I'm a big Alex Collins fan. I'm running him in multiple leagues. He is the wider, like, if you're going RB0, Alex Collins.
He's the RB0 guy for sure.
I want to see who is Alex Collins here. I don't even remember. Someone does. But yeah, Crabtree, Sanders, 2 30-year-old wide receivers. High floors? Probably. They're probably going to get some targets, but they're not going to make up for the lack of production in other areas. Cooper Kupp, not bad.
I mean, like, he's very target dependent. I mean, there's a lot of mouths to feed on that Rams offense as well. He definitely did show what he was capable of last season, and if he can build upon that, I guess we're about to find out. But Ezekiel Elliott.
Okay, so I drafted a Dynasty League the other day. Drafted Ezekiel Elliott 2nd. But this is a half PPR league. Now in a PPR league, I ain't going for Ezekiel Elliott. Or sorry, a full PPR league.
Mm-hmm.
Ezekiel Elliott I've ranked like 6th in PPR for redraft. Now Ezekiel's fine. I hope he doesn't like beat anyone up or
getting into any
flash any titties or anything. Yeah. But yeah, like he's gonna get the workload. Offensive line's still top tier. Quarterback is gonna be question mark, but we'll see. Could be good, could be bad. He's gonna get if he's healthy and in shape, 25 to 30 touches a game. It's not unrealistic.
Ezekiel Elliott. I'm really high on him this season. I mean, like I said, that Cowboys offense is going to be really weak in the passing game. And I would not be surprised if Dak Prescott is just going to do those short little passes off to him in the backfield. And, you know.
Yeah, hey, I think
it's going to be big for PPR too, I think.
He only had 26 catches last season in limited work. He could see 40 to 50, no problem.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what...
I honestly think, like, 1,600 all-purpose yards for him is not out of the question.
Not out of the question at all.
So, that's a great player to work with. And then, of course, you got Lamar Miller.
I know everyone jokes about Lamar Miller, but at how much money he goes for and where he gets drafted, you can't get anyone else who's almost, like, guaranteed to be a 3-down back. He might be like a Trent Richardson where he only averages 2 yards a carry, but at least he's getting the ball.
Comes home after a long day of work and, you know,
dude,
puts points on the board for his team.
Guy caught 36 passes last year.
Not bad.
Like, come on. Like, that's legit.
He's nothing to get excited about, but it's like, it's a gap filler for sure.
We could be going all out about Lamar Miller next year going for $30+ or going in the 3rd round.
Dude, I was high on him last season. I think he was like a second-round pick or something.
I had Lamar Miller in like 4 leagues that one year when I won all the leagues when he was with the Dolphins. And then the next year he's being drafted like second round. He was good at one point for a little while. He was like some C.J. Anderson kind of thing.
So are you high or low on him, or are you just like
works? Great safe pick, great value. Doubt he breaks 1,000 yards.
Solid player with low upside.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
He's good contrast to Ezekiel Elliott.
Okay.
But my guy, Duke Johnson, that's the guy.
I'd just like to add for Hayden, really good bench. Let's just take a look at that. I mean, you got Pierre Garçon, who's probably the number 2 target in San Francisco. I mean, Garoppolo's going to be fantastic, apparently, or everybody's assuming. Kelvin Benjamin, he's going to be the number 1 receiver in Buffalo, most likely.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, you got another great quarterback in Jared Goff.
Okay.
That's enough.
If Hayden can unleash his inner businessman, he could collect a lot of fab dollars and a lot of... Yeah, he could take all of Rodgers' fab dollars. So if I was him right now, I would go drop Pierre Garçon, pick up Nick Foles, and then just extort the shit out of Rodgers.
Now, is this like a rent-to-own type of situation where he's basically renting every week, or is it going
I would be
to
like,
be
hey, Rodgers, every single week you need Jared Goff, you gotta give me 25 fab.
Starting.
Like, that's being nice. Since it's Rodgers, you start 40. And pick up Nick Foles. Otherwise, if Logan hears this first, he's gonna go pick up Nick Foles.
I mean, who does he draw? Because I'd just like to add Aaron Jones. I really like his upside when he gets back.
Is that 2 games suspension or 3?
Oh, I think it's like 2.
I think it's only 2, so it shouldn't be too bad.
But, you know, what we saw from him last season was... I really liked what I saw. He's definitely going to be on my other teams if I can get him.
Yeah. No.
So I think that Hayden has a really solid squad. I think he has a chance to compete this season, but... He's just lacking in a few areas, especially wide receiver. And I think if there's anything that you can find on the waiver wire, it's a decent wide receiver.
Especially with these short benches, a lot of good talent's going to be sitting there, which is ridiculous. Let's get on the topic of these benches. These benches are stupid, especially with the IR. If we have no IR and 4 bench spots, it's doing nobody any favors or anything good. There's no benefits to this. Oh man, the waiver wire is going to have so much talent on it. Yeah, so I have to have guys like Pierre Garçon on my team because I can't take a flyer on someone. I need a guy who I know is going to be starting.
Sir, complete a formal waiver and we will review it for next season. And
Jesus
we might.
Christ. All right.
On that.
Well then, putting this out there, I need to make a 2-for-1 trade. I got too many guys on my bench. Anyone's available. Player coming back doesn't have to be.
I mean, this is a non-partisan program. You can't
be.
Hey,
here, wheeling and dealing. Let's go. All right, let's get off of Hayden's team.
Oh, why Hayden on Hayden?
Oh no, okay, you know we'll give him the. Let's see what his draft capital looked like. Let's see where his money was spent, where he could have done better.
Oh, here's one thing that I really hated about Hayden's team. He had $18 left by the time he drafted everyone. I mean. That easily could have been spent on a better wide receiver corpse.
He had 4 unused.
He had 4 unused?
But
who had the most?
Well, we can check that. That would be Dustin Adams.
Oh, okay.
So, the Dustin.
Still $4. That's something.
He thought we were going to e-transfer him the rest of that money after the draft.
Let's take a look here. So Ezekiel Elliott for 60, totally fine with that.
Yeah,
Aaron Rodgers for 32. Now that's a deal.
Okay, so yeah, $32. Even 31 for Russell. Like, that's pretty damn good. So he spent $123. Is that right? $123 on his first 3 guys. I don't think in ideal, like, in hindsight, we could look back and Hayden might have won the league. Who knows? But if he doesn't win the league or doesn't come close, it's going to come down to having 2 stud quarterbacks. He should have gotten 1. He should have picked Russell, Zeke, and then been like, okay, I need a wide receiver.
He did get the memo that we're decreasing the passing touchdowns to 4, right?
Yeah, but I also think if we go look at previous years, I think Rodgers and Wilson, those guys went for more than this year anyways.
Yeah.
But it's just like, when you put $60+ into quarterback position.
That's 1/3 of your budget, right?
Now, Michael Crabtree's your number 1 guy. And that's not good for anybody.
Not good. Well, it's good for us.
Like, sure,
not good for him.
Like, he could put up 30 and 30, Russell and Aaron every week. 60 points. Zeke puts up 20, 80. The rest of his guys, maybe one of them puts
his
up
upside is limited due to his wide receivers.
He's got a high floor because of his quarterbacks, but he's also got a really low ceiling.
I'd say that's a 2 to 3 player gap right there that could be improved. So I guess we'll. Any other comments?
No. He's pretty top heavy. He should be okay. I think he'll be a middle of the pack team.
Definitely.
I think he'll be
might get in the wild card or something.
I think
like
he might like fringe make the playoffs. I don't think he's gonna be winning unless that's the thing. He doesn't have any breakout guys. There's no one on his team that like, oh man, that guy could be the guy. Like Pierre Garçon, Emmanuel Sanders, Kelvin Benjamin, Crabtree, and Miller. They've already been past their peaks.
Gotta get their canes out.
Yeah, well, like some of them are old. Some of them just already had their breakout year, and they've already had their years where they're like the
good values.
Yeah, they've broken out already.
Yeah.
You know what they're gonna offer. It's not a whole lot. So even if Wilson and Rodgers were 1-2 quarterback, I still don't think it's enough.
Totally agree.
Not gonna be a league winner. All right, so Unraw Talent. Great name. He could be
our former champ.
Could be a raw talent. We'll start getting some kids.
Oh.
Maybe pretty quick here. Who knows?
There are children listening to this, man.
Oh,
Jesus.
This is supposed to be a G-rated podcast.
Find this on Treehouse.
Oh yeah, BBC Kids.
All right, let's take a look here.
But yeah, Unraw Talent. So we had him 6, 4, and 10. What did you have him ranked at?
I had him ranked at number 7.
7. So I'm basically 7, tied for 6. So it's in the ballpark.
I just look at this this roster and I think it's average at every position. I mean, you have a few players that can provide major upside, but there's still a few questions about his roster that needs to be addressed.
Yeah. So like taking a look at it. If there was one thing I'm looking at it that I would say is like a question mark, would be like the average age of his team.
Definitely, and
like Tom Brady, Larry Fitzgerald, Joe Flacco, like you got 3 30-plusers there. Alshon's probably bordering 29, 30, right? You're a Bears guy, you know his age.
No, actually,
Height,
I think he's
weight,
like maybe like
address.
28, 29.
Okay, so he's getting up there as well.
Yeah. I don't miss him that much.
Yeah, so like there's not a lot of youth injection here outside of Todd Gurley.
I mean, you got a guy from last season, right? So he's just missing Alvin Kamara and plenty of those other high upside guys like Ertz.
Yeah, it's almost like he just gave Ben like a screenshot of his last year's team. It was like, hey, draft these guys again.
Jesus. It's like the really shitty sequel where they can't get all the stars back, so they have to like hire some like some replacements or something like that.
Yeah, so he did no research. He's like, well, this team won me last year. Just gonna draft him again.
That's how it works, right?
But I mean, it's supposedly like Disneyland doesn't have Wi-Fi, so you can just draft your own team on your phone. But like then again, it was nice to have Ben at the draft. It was probably an upgrade anyway.
Ben got him a competitive team.
Yeah,
I don't think this will be like winning any championships.
This isn't going to be a Brooklyn Rob situation where the team Brooklyn drafts is like noticeably better than what Rob would have drafted.
You think Andrew would have done worse?
No, I'm saying like the team Ben and Andrew would have drafted are probably pretty close.
Okay.
But like Brooklyn was a huge upgrade over Rob.
Jeez.
And then Rob just managed it into the ground.
As he does every
I'm pretty sure that was a year where he wasn't like putting a starting roster out and he had like 3 empty spots every week.
Do you think a guy who has made the playoffs in only one season should be going off to Columbia? I just think there are better people out there that could have gotten that scholarship or acceptance letter. Yeah,
I'll be sure to call in and like send a report in of every single fantasy team you've ever rostered in. I'll tell them I'm your reference.
Are you sure you want this guy?
Yeah, especially Columbia, man. They take their football seriously. I don't know if you're qualified.
Hey, that's not too far from East Rutherford. Rob could go see some Giants
games. Hey, Columbia, charge this guy double.
They technically already are because it's out of state.
Yeah,
anyways.
Go edit that GoFundMe.
We aren't teaming on Rob's team yet. Jesus.
Oh, no.
Let's see here. So we got Tom Brady. Obviously, he's old. Flacco, I think that's like the definition of no frills. T.Y. Hilton is a very interesting player with a... I mean, let's see here. T.Y. Hilton will be the number 1 target in Indy, but of course the question is Andrew Luck.
Give me some Scott Tolzien.
Scott Tolzien.
Where's Jacoby Brissett? That's 109 targets to T.Y. Hilton from those two guys.
Didn't Brissett get traded or something like that?
No, I don't care. He's not fantasy relevant. All I know is I started him like twice last year because I had Andrew Luck stashed on my IR.
Of course, we got Elshon injured. He's probably going to be out for the first 2 weeks.
Nope,
and
he is. Oh, is he not playing? I thought
he wasn't put on the PUP.
Yeah, he's cleared from PUP. Okay.
He's probably going to be out for a couple of weeks.
Tyler Lockett's the sleeper there.
I do like Tyler Lockett.
He's been
I mean,
a sleeper
like, there's
for
a
every
ton
year,
of targets available in Seattle up for grabs.
Latavius Murray. I've heard rumors in my research that Latavius Murray might be doing a 50-50 with Dalvin Cook.
I could totally see that. Dalvin Cook might not be completely healed up from that knee. Might not be making the cuts that we saw in that limited sample.
He's only ran the ball twice in preseason.
Ooh.
That is a red flag. So Latavius Murray, he might be getting like first downs. Maybe not first down, but he's going to run the ball here and there. And he's going to get goal line work. And Latavius Murray can catch a ball too, 15 for 17.
Might be somebody to put in the flex if he proves his worth.
Yeah, hey.
But what about Jay Ajayi? I mean, what's the news on him?
Like, he's good. Like, there's no talent lacking. He's a good player. He just plays in Philadelphia.
Yeah, running back by committee. I mean, you got Corey Clement.
It's hard. Like, he averages over 4 yards a carry. He catches the ball. Power runner.
Plotter.
He's fine. Like, he's good. Give him the ball,
give him the ball until he pukes.
He'll do work, man. He'll do work.
You're a believer, right? Okay.
I'm a believer.
And then, of course, he's got your guy in Alex Collins.
Yeah, Alex Collins is the guy.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so many questions about this team. I mean, it could be either a really good roster, a really average roster, or a really disappointing roster.
Larry Fitzgerald, is this the year he finally catches less than 100 balls?
We've been saying the same thing about Frank Gore. He's the Frank Gore.
4 years in a row. No, he's not Frank Gore.
I don't think so, eh?
Frank Gore keeps on playing somehow, but he doesn't play good. Larry Fitzgerald
is playing
keeps on playing and he keeps playing good.
I still would never draft him. He's always on my do not draft list because I'm not going to be the guy who likes him in his like final year where he drops off the end of the year.
I was the guy who picked Peyton Manning in his final year in the $100 league. It was a sad.
That must have been a first round pick.
Want to know?
Coming off 5,000 yards.
Hey, okay.
Can't blame you.
Ming fantasy football history. I won the big money league in the year that I drafted Andrew Luck and Peyton Manning first and second round. Andrew Luck was injured half the year. Peyton Manning, I traded away for Ryan Tannehill in week 2. Still won the league somehow. Thanks, Antonio Brown. Love you. Thanks, CJ Anderson. Waiver pickup. Love you.
I would have won that league too, the big money league, if we weren't playing into week 17. You might complain.
That was the year that I beat you because Jay Cutler threw a touchdown in garbage time.
Oh, that was bullshit. That was not that year, though. That was the year afterwards where I played Brooks in the finals. I had, like, Allen Robinson. I had Todd Gurley. I had Jamal Charles in his big year.
Ooh.
Man, looking back at that team, it was nuts. But... Oh, and Julio Jones, too. That was his big year. Everything was just going off for me. I was scoring 200 points on a regular basis, but of course we had to play the championship in week 17.
Which is not a thing anymore.
Thank God. You might complain about some things in this league, but they will never be as bad as a week 17 championship, folks.
Tom Brady does not play team week 17.
Oh, man. Yeah. Belichick just throws in the towel.
If Brady doesn't play week 17, I don't play week 17.
That's a good way to put it.
Let's go.
Anything else to say about Mr. Unraw?
No.
You had a great trip in Disneyland.
Yeah, man. Wish you would have utilized that free Wi-Fi to draft, but it's okay.
What can you do?
Could have been on a Ferris wheel, drafting your team. Julian asking what you're doing.
Hugging Mickey.
Yep, just making sure we have passes bought for tomorrow's rides. Getting fast passes, honey.
Take me back.
Get creative, guy. Come on. All right, let's take a look at what we're working with here for draft dollars for Unraw. Where does money go? How did he spend it? Was it spread out?
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Yeah.
Unraw Talent, $63 for Gurley.
I
mean,
he
when you got
spread it out
conviction
pretty
on a
good.
guy, I think you can justify $63 for Gurley.
Yeah, like I wouldn't have went back.
There's not a lot of guys I'd spend 1/3 of my fab on, or not fab, but auction budget on. Todd Gurley's probably like the one guy.
Yeah, he went 63, and then he waited 23 picks, and then went Alshon. I probably would have skipped the Alshon, and just been like, okay, I got Gurley, time to put a team together. Alshon 19. Hey, Ben might not have known that he was on the pup list. I don't know.
I just felt like Ben bought the wide receivers at a really bad time. It's kind of like that point where everybody's at like 100 budget and like they're still, spending absurd amounts of money on their players. It's when you get to the point where they're at like $50 to $40 that people start getting the value.
Yeah, he did okay in the value. Like he did T.Y. Larry at 2027. That's fine.
Nothing
that's fine.
crippling
that's
there.
Fine. Yeah, that's fine. J.J. 12's okay. Brady at 17's a steal. Collins is big at 11. Greg Olson's good at 11. Regarding bench, he didn't really do anything on the bench. The only guy on the bench I would like is Latavius Murray at $1.
Tyler Lockett?
Tyler Lockett's fine at $1, yeah.
Yeah.
Dawson, no biggie. Devontae Parker, injured, wasted $5. And he's like, I don't know, he's Devontae Parker.
Fuck him.
C.J. Anderson, washed up. Mike Williams, could be okay. Joe Flacco, old. I don't know. It's okay. Mediocre.
I think there's a wide variety or a wide range of outcomes for this team. That's why I think it's appropriate to put him at 6, I believe. Or
yeah, like unlike Hayden's team, this team actually has the potential to win the league.
Yeah,
but also has the potential to like, epically fail. He doesn't have that low or high floor like Hayden's team. Hayden's team has two solid quarterbacks as long as healthy.
Sorry, take that back. We're on number 7, aren't we?
We're on 6. We're tied for tied for 6.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. So that is 6. I totally agree.
Yeah,
with
like
6
halfway
position
between the league. So if we put him at 6 out of 12, Ren dab in the middle, he could be 1 or 12, easily. Gurley could get injured. Hilton might. Who knows? Luck might not be healthy. T.Y. Hilton has another dud year. Larry Fitzgerald gets old. J.J. isn't good. Tom Brady finally got old. Alex Collins isn't as good as I think he is. Joe Flacco is not even on his team. I don't even know. He's on another team. Greg Olson didn't even play last year. We don't know what he's going to be.
I'm not excited for Greg. Oh,
yeah.
well. Third leg Greg.
Yeah. Super Greg. Number 1.
Dude, have you seen the Miami music video from 2005?
Who is this?
It has oh man, he played for Miami. The 7th floor crew or something like that.
I'm not looking that up.
No, no, that's not it. Super Greg.
This is the shit, man.
Super Greg. Number 1. Straight fire.
Greg Olson.
Greg Olson, everyone. Circa 2015 when he was really good. Anyways, anything else to say about Unra's team? Our former champ?
Unra's team, for pretty safe team for a former champ, especially since he wasn't there. Can't say anything bad about it. Could win, could lose. That'll be a coin flip team for sure. Nothing to get too excited about.
So we're on to number 5 here, and we have
the 5 heads. This is the Jacob. So we have him 9th quarterback, 1 running back, 8th wide receiver. How are your rankings look? Where do you have him?
Where do I have Jacob?
I have him average out to 5th.
See, I was really up and down with Jacob when I was just looking over his roster. It's like some days I'll take a look at it and it's like, wow, this is really good, and then other times it's like, I don't know. But, oh man, where is he here? I had him at number 9. Basically what I had for him was that he has middling to below average players every position, but has some interesting running backs. And I know that you rated him number 2, but for running backs, but I'm not a big fan of David Johnson this year. I mean, David Johnson is just part of a super boring offense with Sam Bradford and Josh Rosen thrown to him.
David Johnson.
And you know, I'm probably going to be eating my words here, but I'm just not feeling it with him.
PPR David
And you know what the funny thing about David Johnson is that he absolutely fucked Jacob last season with the broken wrist.
Hey, and
he drafted him at pretty much the same price.
That's why you pick him again. He burns you last year. You can't break your wrist like that twice, right?
That sounds like an abusive relationship, man.
Yeah, I don't know. If it was a knee injury, might have been different. But it was his wrist. If you're out for a year for a wrist, and you take basically a year and a half off with the off season, etc., he coming back. He catching balls. Bad offense, David Johnson. Bad offense, give the ball to David Johnson.
Okay. I mean, David Johnson definitely has
He's going to touch the ball
400 As Michael
times.
Jordan would say, the ceiling is the roof.
Yeah, he's going to touch the ball 400 times. If there's someone in this league that goes 2,000 all-purpose, running and receiving, David Johnson.
Okay.
I take David Johnson over Le'Veon Bell right now.
Definitely. I probably wouldn't even take Le'Veon Bell with my first or second pick, to be honest.
I take David Johnson over Zeke Elliott. I just don't take him over Gurley. Gurley's my number 1. Dave Johnson, number 2. PPR.
I have David Johnson as like my number 4 or 5 running back, depending on how I'm feeling.
Yeah, I have Gurley. I go Gurley, David Johnson right now, and then probably Zeke. And then
how much did Jacob bid for like David Johnson? That must have been like $65 or something like that.
Let's take a looky. $64, which isn't too bad. Like it's
a little bit more than Gurley,
it's in the ballpark. Yeah, like but David Johnson also got picked 15th. Gurley was the 4th nomination, so like you can't. As long as we're in the same ballpark, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
I'm a big Dalvin Cook guy right now. I like Dalvin Cook.
But weren't you just talking about like a 50-50 timeshare with Latavius Murray?
I like Dalvin Cook. Dude, all these running backs are in like shares. I said he could be in a share.
Yeah,
I heard he might be in a share.
I mean, like he's definitely going to be a part of that.
Dalvin Cook is definitely the better running back.
Yeah.
I'm thinking Dalvin Cook's 1,000 rushing, like 400 receiving.
You really think he's that kind of guy? I mean, like, I know that ACL tears aren't, like, the career enders that they used to be, and I'm not saying that that's the number 1 reason why you should stay away. I just think it's just such a limited sample size to go off of for 4 games, and yeah, I know he looked fantastic last season.
Who was the last guy in Minnesota to tear the ACL?
Adrian Peterson.
What did he do the next season?
Oh, come on. This parable.
What did he do the next season?
He ran for 2,000 yards, Josh.
Hey.
He almost broke the running back record from Eric Dickerson. But...
Case closed.
We're talking about an otherworldly talent in Adrian Peterson. I mean, like, if anybody's going to come back from a torn ACL, it's Adrian Peterson. In his prime.
If there's any running back that Dustin Abson would start... It would be Adrian Peterson.
Mm-hmm. I just don't think Dalvin Cook's like falling to me in drafts or really going for the price that I would want.
$39? Do I pay $39? No, I pay 30 or 35.
I think he's a little bit overvalued right now. And
yeah.
I think that's the number 1 detractor. I think that they're going to run the ball in Minnesota too with that defense.
I picked second in my Dynasty League. Picked Zeke. And then on the way back at like pick 24, I got Dalvin Cook in Dynasty.
I'd feel good about that.
Like I don't know how that happened, but it happened. I should have pick 18. I think it was pick 18. Shouldn't have been there in Dynasty. Hell no. Pick 18 in redraft league. I'm still taking him at pick.
What did Juju go in Dynasty?
30th.
30th. Yeah, that's
like somewhere in there.
I think.
Yeah, Juju's a good guy. I like Juju. Plays Fortnite. He's a part of FaZe Clan. If you didn't know.
The more you know.
So yeah, Dalvin Cook, Amari Cooper, $17 for Amari Cooper. That could be the one that people look at. It's like that was the steal of the draft. Like steal as in like someone who has put the numbers up before, but had a bad year and went for a bargain.
He was supposed to be my wide receiver 1 last season, man. Like he used and abused me, except for that 1 week during
What did you pay for him last year?
Oh man, like $41.
So like you're getting it for 40% of the price.
But like I was like
35%
spending for like wide receiver 1 upside.
Yeah.
I was really a big fan of Amari
So-
Cooper and Derek Carr last season.
Jacob's getting it for a 70% discount because he had a bad year. If he comes unhealthy Derek Carr. Healthy Derek Carr now.
Yeah.
So why does Amari Cooper's stock go 70% down? But Derek Carr is supposed to have a better year.
I'm a little bit higher on him now that Derek Carr is healthy, and also that Oakland defense has been gutted. They're going to be throwing the ball lots. It's ultimately up to Amari Cooper if he wants to actually catch the goddamn ball. I mean, he had something like a 50-60% catch rate. It was pathetic. One of the most frustrating players to watch. Let's bring him up here.
How many drops did he have last year?
A lot. You're about to see. Drops McGee.
Where is he? Drops. 10 drops last year. 10% of his targets were dropped.
I am shocked.
That is outrageous. He was 5th in the league in drops. There are no redeeming qualities from last year's play by Amari Cooper. But he still is extremely fast. Crazy agility. Crazy fucking everything. As an athlete. He will be good. Again.
The return of Amari.
The return of Amari.
That's Amari.
So, yeah, Amari Cooper could be a steal of the draft.
So you commend him on that pick, and you know what?
Yeah, like $17. Like
I got screwed over by Amari, no doubt, but I think it's a better pick. One pick I'm not a big fan of is Doug Baldwin, and how much was he going for?
Doug Baldwin went for 22. Also, dude, honestly, man, like those are both guys who, if healthy and
well,
like,
the
Doug
thing
Baldwin
is,
went for 40.
Doug Baldwin is not healthy.
No, I know.
In fact, he says that he's probably going to have a lingering injury that's going to linger the whole season. And he's not even guaranteed for week 1. So that's a little bit of a scary thing to think about for him.
Well, I mean,
but he also has Sammy Watkins to cover for him if needed.
Still not as bad as Logan picking Carson Wentz.
This is true. Yeah.
At least Jacob's got backups.
Yeah, he's got plenty of wide receiver depth,
Sammy
so that's
Watkins,
not even that big.
Jamison Crowder, Rex Burkhead. Like, all those guys can fill in at the flex spot or wherever he might have had Baldwin.
Yeah.
He's fine. He's good.
Now, another reason why I ranked Jacobs so low was his quarterbacks. And one thing that you'll notice about both these players, Kirk Cousins and Blake Bortles, is that they have the number 1 and number 2 defenses on their squads. I mean, are they really going to be throwing that much? I think Kirk Cousins is going to disappoint a lot of people when it comes to their production. He's going to be a really good real-life quarterback, but I don't think he's going to be lighting the stat sheets on fire.
Like, Kirk Cousins, he's got to... We got to go back to the whole Stephon Diggs, Adam Thielen. Everyone's expecting them both to have 1,000 yards, be third-round fantasy picks.
Mm-hmm.
Someone's got to throw him the ball. Kirk Cousins can throw the ball. So either Cousins overachieves and makes 2 wide receiver ones happen, or everyone fails. And nobody gets their draft value back.
Just too many mouths to feed at.
Too many... Kyle Rudolph, Dalvin Cook, Latavius Murray. These guys are all top 10 fantasy rounds. Who's going to be the one that fails? Does Stephon Diggs be a wide receiver 1 and Thielen doesn't get as many targets? Do they not throw the ball to their running backs? Do they just run the ball all day? Does Kirk Cousins just feed Kyle Rudolph 20 touchdowns this year? I'm down with that. Just give Kyle Rudolph the ball. I got Kyle Rudolph. Let's go. Kyle Rudolph's just a healthy Jordan Reed.
I'll disagree with that one. But
just a big, tall, healthy Jordan Reed with a full amount of...
Also, Kyle Rudolph isn't exactly like the antithesis of consistent health either. He's got his injury problems as well.
When?
Well, he was pretty good last year, but he's had some problems in the past as well.
Look it up, bro.
Look it up.
Look it up. Do we have to look it up?
I guess we have to.
We gotta look it up? Let's see. Kyle Rudolph feels healthy again. I like it.
Again.
When were you not healthy, bro? He hasn't missed a game since 2014.
Get out of here.
Look at that. Last 2014-2013, he missed both the half seasons, but since then, he's had 20 touchdowns in the last 3 years. I will take it. And that's with who throwing him the ball?
Kirk Cousins.
No.
Oh, sorry. From last season, who
Case
was
Keenum?
Case Keenum? Jesus.
Case Keenum last year. Who's it? Teddy Bridgewater?
Torn ACL, I think, but
Teddy Bridgewater?
yeah.
Who was before Teddy Bridgewater?
Christian Ponder?
Probably.
No, it was Sam Bradford for a little bit.
That was last season.
Oh yeah, shit.
So I mean, like Kyle Rudolph, underrated. Guy's also 6'6", 265. Like,
What was his stats last year?
That's big white boy Gronk twin right there. 532 yards, 8 touchdowns. With Case Keenum. Expect 100 catches, 2,000 yards, and 20 touchdowns.
Book it.
Done.
Hot take of the day.
I'll put money on it.
Anything that you'd like to add about Jacob's team?
No, Jacob's team's good. I like it.
Just middling.
Good. It's good high upside. There's some safe picks there. Like, I don't know. Actually, you know what? I wouldn't call it David Johnson safe, but I mean, like, as long as he stays healthy, like, the worst he can do is 1,000 yards rushing, I guess.
Disappointing, but yeah.
Disappointing, but like, well, it'll get him to the playoffs. And I like Jameson Crowder. Jameson Crowder, like, anyone gets injured, slot him in, wouldn't even like cry a bit.
Who's up next?
Do. Hey.
Killer.
We got. I don't even know who we got. Tie for 6, 5. Oh, we had 2 tie for 3s. We got Peter and Rob. So that's a tough one. We got we got to give the worst of the two to Peter.
Yeah, I
With
just think
quarterbacks,
that major gap at the quarterback position.
I will stand by my statement earlier that if someone has the worst in the league, they will lose the tiebreaker by default.
I gotta agree
and
with that.
It's not even but he could be 10th. He could be 11th. No. He 12.
And by far,
this
is a problem.
This could be
that
the
he's
worst.
gonna have to deal with all season.
This could be the worst quarterback duo in SSML history.
Man, I feel like there has been worse, but this is definitely a problem. So let's bring up Peter's team here.
For pre-season, post-draft, this is the worst quarterback corpse in history of the SSML.
Oh, man. Ryan Fitzpatrick in Tampa Bay. He's got 3 weeks of that.
He's got 3 weeks at Fitz.
Sam Bradford, he's got about a half a football.
He's got 10 throws until he goes down with an ACL tear. And then on his bench, he's got Sam Darnold.
And he's been described as the best in camp, but probably not ready.
They say he's going to start, which is fine.
No, it's confirmed he's going to start. Yeah. And that's great. I mean, you need starting quarterbacks. But we're talking bottom of the barrel waiver fodder otherwise. Man, if this team gets even one semi-decent quarterback, though, I mean, this team is in business.
Yeah, he was texting me, oh man, I want Case Keenum. Forgot to reply. But he sent me a trade offer that was what? Dude, you ain't desperate sending me these offers? Give me something.
Okay, Peter is the ultimate lowballer. Everybody will attest to this.
What he tried to give me Darnold and Benjamin Watson or something. I can't even remember. It was something just trash.
Just bench fodder for starting caliber players.
When I go out there, I'm like, hey guys, I'll trade any 2 of my bench guys for somebody. These are quality bench guys. Sam Darnold and Benjamin Watson. I don't even know why Benjamin Watson's rostered. Supposedly, George Kittle's on waivers. You should be going and spending 200 fab on George Kittle. George Kittle is the guy.
How much fab did you say again?
200.
200? You heard it here, folks.
Peter's prone to blowing his load on fab dollars.
Just blowing his load in general.
Just in general, yeah.
Yeah. Let's just see here. I mean, let's get the quarterbacks out of the way. I mean, they're bench fodder, they're shit, but oh my god, this roster, man, everything else is looking pretty sharp.
This is the opposite of the average Joes. Like Hayden's team, this is like the opposite.
Just
Like
upset
just
it.
trash quarterbacks and then like basically amazing everything else.
Yeah.
Except Peyton Barber.
So
Fuck
what do
Peyton
we
Barber.
rate him for wide receivers and running backs? BC Lions.
3 and 2. 3 running backs, 2 wide receiver.
I totally agree. I mean Antonio Brown, like,
Yeah,
on a
that's the
weekly
guy.
basis, this guy could get 20 to 50 points on a weekly basis.
20 to 50. I
20
love
to
that
50.
range.
I mean, like, he has the ability to put up those points. He is game changing for a matchup. Of course, I really like his duo at running back with Melvin Gordon and Leonard Fournette. I think those guys are going to be bona fide bell cows. Melvin Gordon and Leonard Fournette are also on top 5 defenses. They're going to be running the ball a lot on their respective teams. And then,
yeah, like I'm a big on Melvin Gordon and Leonard Fournette.
mm-hmm.
Like both those guys, legit. Like
One thing that I do have a problem with is, like I said, I wasn't a big fan of. Is it Thielen or Thielen?
I don't know, Adam Thielen.
I think it's Adam
I think
Thielen.
it's Thielen, yeah.
Yeah, let's play it safe here. Anyways, I just felt like he is a little bit inflated. I mean, there's just so many things going against him here for this year.
It's like we were
I
saying
mean,
earlier.
like he's injured right now. Apparently, he no longer has the offensive coordinator that made him a target monster, and like I said, I've said this before. I think the Vikings will be throwing the ball less, even with Kirk Cousins.
Like this thing, it's like you either have to
and
believe
I
that.
mean, you got tons of targets in that offense too.
Yeah.
Is he gonna repeat?
Is he gonna repeat? I think he could repeat the catches. I don't think he can keep the. I think he like if I had to guess, I'd say like 75 to 80 catches, 1,000 yards, and like 6 touchdowns. I think 4 touchdowns is a bit too low, but I think he can still pick it up. He's like the safest guy in the world. You can throw the ball his way, he's probably gonna catch it. He's not gonna give you like 80-yard catches all day, but if you put him in the slot, he'll catch it. He'll catch. He's just a security blanket down there. Kenny Stills like it. I like Kenny Stills. Jordan Reed, if he's healthy. Peyton Barber is a piece of shit. Bench is pretty garbage. Like Josh Gordon could be okay.
You're not big on Josh Gordon, man.
No, he's not starting the first few weeks.
Well, I know
He
that.
probably won't even see the field. But like Josh Gordon's just gonna smoke the weed and get suspended again.
Smoking the weed. I
And,
wish
like-
we had a soundboard of that.
But like this is again the issue with our 4 bench spots. He's got a backup tight end, useless because he's got to like have some kind of security for Jordan Reed. James Conner, which is fine, I guess. If you had Le'Veon Bell, it'd make more sense.
He must have added that like a minute ago with the Le'Veon Bell news.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
And then Sam Darnold is a shitty quarterback, and then Josh Gordon, who's a question mark. So, pray for no injuries. Pray that Adam Thielen plays week 1 because you have no one else to replace him with. Other than that, yeah, good team. I like his team.
I like
team.
his team too. Yeah, great team. And you know, if he
Yeah.
does find that like starting quarterback, I think this
Like I know he's
could be a championship team.
he's gonna be like, oh man, I spent $41 on Fournette and Gordon. I'm not gonna trade it for a quarterback that went for like $20. But you gotta think like in his situation right now, I'd be like dangling Fournette and Gordon for like a top 3 quarterback because we just saw Rodgers and Wilson went for 31 and 30. Gordon and Fournette went for $41, but you gotta like put all the money aside that you spent on them, the sunken costs, and just be like, okay, I need to fill that spot because right now he could put Peyton Barber where Fournette or Gordon is, which is fine. The guy's gonna play. Pick up Chris Godwin off of waivers because Chris Godwin is a god,
Big fan of him, man.
and then he would solve his quarterback problem right there. But all you people too worried about your dollars spent,
sunk cost, baby.
sunk costs
One of the best terms and definitions you can know, I think,
in fantasy football.
in life in general.
Yeah, just because you picked him in the first round doesn't mean he's worth a first rounder anymore.
Anything else we can say about Peter? Maybe we could just take a look at how much he drafted each player for.
Oh yeah, we'll
Yeah.
take a peek at that.
I mean, I know Peter was worried. I was worried for him, man, because I saw that he spent his I keep calling it fab, his auction budget really quickly.
Which he did, and we'll see it here. Yeah, Antonio 64.
No,
It's about going rate. It's like that's what you got to pay for him to have him, right?
Yeah.
I
Melvin Gordon and Leonard Fournette for $41 each.
Okay, so I like those picks if he didn't buy Brown. Or even if you didn't buy Thielen. If you just bought what?
I think he could have stretched that $27 just by like not buying Adam Thielen.
Yeah, if you didn't buy Adam Thielen, it's $27. You could get two $14, $15.
For example, I got Matt Ryan for like $5 and I got Stafford for like $12.
But like,
I mean,
here,
there's your problem solved right there.
his quarterbacks he got in the like Josh Allen, did he drop him? I didn't see him.
He did.
So he got 7, 9, and 10. He did early. It's not like he went into 14 and 15. It was like, oh my god, I forgot to draft a quarterback. Yeah. He drafted all these guys early that aren't even startable. Yeah. So he picked 6 guys after those. It was like, yeah, that's my quarterbacks are good.
He was panicking, man. Peter, just a heads up, hey, I heard about this Nathan Peterman guy. He's gonna be awesome for Buffalo. Definitely don't look at his past performances, but definitely start in week 1.
Yeah, truth. Mohamed Sanu, Ty Montgomery. So like half of the picks he made in the second half have been dropped to waivers already to try and plug this quarterback situation with even worse quarterbacks. So we'll see. I think quarterbacks are probably the only position you can get negative points for.
It's like quarterback. Like, come on, you gotta have some like decent quarterbacks to like.
I'm pretty sure I had
lead your squad.
A couple quarterbacks last year put up like -5 points. Throw a couple picks and like get pulled from the game and you're stuck.
I think I had like Drew Brees and Stafford, and that was a good duo.
Yeah,
even though Drew Brees kind of had like a somewhat off year, he was reliable.
All right, enough of these.
Forget about
mediocre teams. Yeah. Let's start moving on to the studs.
And we're about to get some really angry texts from Rebecca here, aren't we?
Oh, yeah. Yep. Who's the real manager? She was shooting texts in the whole time, like. They're like screen sharing from the laptop.
Peter's the GM. Rebecca's like the meddlesome owner.
He had an earpiece in the whole draft, like streaming his desktop, and she's like, "Okay, bid this guy up. Let's go. Stop drinking so many fat tugs." Where are we at here? So we got Rob's team. Okay, I take my last thing back. We're not moving on to the studs just yet. Just about there, guys. Just got to go over Rob's mediocre team. It's actually not bad. I like it. I don't mind it.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely got some crown jewels on this squad. Let's just take a look here.
Yeah, so I have him ranked tied for 3rd, 4th at quarterback, running back 9th, 4th at wide receiver. What do you have him at?
I had him at number 6. I said that, yeah, he's got a few great players on his team, but there are some obvious gaps on his roster. Let's start with Saquon Barkley here. Firstly, he's probably my favorite player going into the draft, or was my favorite player going into the draft. But at the back of my mind, I knew that no matter how much I bid him up, Rob was going to beat me. If I bid him up to like 79, Rob would have bid $80. I was not going to get Barkley. I think Saquon, while expensive, is probably going to single-handedly carry that running back corpse.
Yeah, and like I've come to terms with it years ago that I'll probably never roster Odell Beckham Jr.
Yeah.
Based on the fact I'm never going to pay the same price as Rob would. So going into this draft, I always strategize around, okay, like just don't even bother with any kind of Giants player.
I'm just shocked that I got Eli Manning for like $4. Like Rob was not having any of that.
Okay, so the Giants have that same situation as the Vikings.
Yeah. There's
all these guys that are fantasy studs going the top, like Saquon in the 1st, Odell in the 1st. Sterling Shepard's supposed to have a decent year. Evan Ingram somehow needs to get 1,000 yards again.
They're just cannibalizing each other's yardage, right?
And like Peyton Manning has to feed them all.
Peyton Manning.
Did I say Peyton Manning?
You definitely did.
Might as well say Peyton Manning. They're probably just as good as each other at this point.
Oh, we should. We're talking like late Peyton Manning last year. Peyton Manning, you think?
Yeah.
I'm high on Eli this year, man.
But like, no, I know. But how good can Eli possibly be?
I think he had a bad year because pretty much every offensive weapon except for Evan Ingram was injured. That's huge. No run game, a terrible offensive line. There was a ton of problems in New Jersey.
Yeah, no, I don't know. It's like whatever. It's the Giants. They'll probably lose every game 50-40.
He's got Odell Beckham, and I think Juju Smith-Schuster might be good,
As long
but
as he doesn't play too much Fortnite.
yeah, or he gets stuck behind Antonio Brown. But I still think he could have a big
Or
breakout
James
season.
Washington becomes a stud out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Second round pick. Deshaun Watson, Jimmy Garoppolo.
I like these picks. These
like
are
them too.
definitely upside picks. I mean, while they're lacking their large sample sizes, they did prove to be elite in their limited on-field presence.
Yeah, let's take a look and see how much money he spent. So
Yeah.
Saquon for 50, like that's not too bad. Like
You got Saquon for 50?
it's like
Damn.
it's not too bad. It could be worse, but like for what's considered a first round running back.
I just remember
great.
him
We
going
just-
for more. I guess I thought that was
like,
too expensive.
Yeah, which like I just don't think too many people. It was really early, 11th pick. Not too many people want to get involved at that point or get sucked into a $55 to $60 Saquon. Odell for 50. I think at this point, nobody's trying to challenge Rob for these players. They just assume he's going to get You get up to where you want to limit yourself. Nobody's overpaying except for Rob. We should be upbidding him more, but we aren't.
Looking back, I just felt that Saquon went for like 60 in the high 60s, but $50. I just remember him getting him in auction like drafts for like 39, and then at the time of the draft, I was like, oh, I don't know if I want to spend a quarter of my budget on this guy.
Yeah.
Might have been a mistake. I still like Alvin Kamara, which I got for a very similar value. So
I'm unsure about this Robert Woods.
Robert Woods,
Like I pick him up on waivers every single season, and now suddenly he's a $17 player.
he had a very good season last year. He was outperforming Sammy Watkins. But of course, you got like Brandon Cooks. You got a ton of targets that need to be spread around. Is Goff going to have the same year he had last season? Are they going to be throwing the ball with that crazy good defense? Aaron Donald
Todd
getting
Gurley
paid.
sitting there rushing
Todd
for
Gurley,
300
yeah.
times.
I don't know if he's going to provide a return on value there, but
Zach Ertz, $25, probably too much money. That was the thing, like the top 3 tight ends. Gronk
is Zach Ertz going to have another good year?
Like
Because he was a breakout star last season.
Yeah, he went for $1 in every one of my leagues last year.
Yeah.
And now suddenly he's $25.
Here's something to talk about. Jacksonville. $6.
Yeah, I know. It's just like that's just raw picking. That's that. We don't need like defense for $6. No thanks.
Huh.
No thanks. I don't rate defenses. It's not even on my rankings. I'm not even gonna acknowledge it. It's like Justin Tucker for $3. We talked about it for 10 seconds too long.
True. One thing he is missing is a little bit of bench depth from what I can see. I mean, he's got tons of running backs and like
Naheem Hines, the fumble master.
the fumble master, indeed. He's probably going to get like maybe 10% of the carries there,
Like-
if he even gets trusted with
Yeah,
the ball.
like I like Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb for $1's good. I like him.
Yeah.
DJ Moore for $1, not bad. I like it too. Hines don't like. Brait don't like. Prater, whatever. Eifert, whatever.
There's something missing though, and that's a backup quarterback. If any one of those guys goes down, he's gonna have to trade somebody
He's
away.
gonna have to talk to Hayden about Jared Goff.
Yeah. Oh, Hayden's gonna be making a lot. And by the way, hit me up for Eli Manning, Rob. Only $20 a pop.
Ooh, what? Value, baby.
Value.
I told Hayden to like $40 to Rodgers, make it $50 for Rob.
For missing the draft.
No, it's the Giants. The Giants like upsell. But it's the Giants, man. Oh wait, you have Eli.
I got
Oh,
Eli,
you
yeah.
charge him $50, not 20. Come on.
The Homer special.
The Homer special. It's like if someone tried to sell you Trubisky. The price just doubled, guy. Alright, now let's get into the stud teams. Let's go. Alright,
We got a
3.
number 3.
We had the tied for 3. Oh, those were tied for 3. So we're going to our top 2.
Wow.
Oh, look.
And it just happens.
Oh, man.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
No bias whatsoever.
No, none at all.
So,
Hey, I made these rankings before this idea even came up. And honestly, we're an hour and 34 minutes in. I don't think any of you guys are going to listen to this. You're just going to comment within 5 minutes saying, where's the banter? And I'll be like, dude, it's an hour and 40 minutes long. There's no way you could have listened to it all by now. And I don't expect you to.
this is something that we hope that you listen on the way to work or school or maybe Bible study.
Yeah, we did the Rogan approach. Unedited, unadulterated fantasy football talk. Right? Trap horns.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's get into the big teams, the big squad.
The big boys.
Coach Ditka, also known as
Based Finlay.
the man, the myth.
The legend.
All right, ranked at 5 across the board.
What? I'd like to hear what you had to say about my team, man.
Okay.
I'm going to just sit back here and
because I know the
roster bait.
the person that I know is like I'm talking about is present.
I know.
Makes it
So
so
watch
much
your
easier.
words.
Let's see. Stafford, love it. Ryan, I don't know how much you paid for him. Like it. Keenan Allen, I love Keenan Allen. Chris Hogan's good. Marquise Goodwin's good. Jordan Howard's good. Don't like Kamara. Joku's okay. Not my. I don't draft Joku, but he's okay. Chris Thompson, probably don't start him in week 1 or 2 because of injury and who knows what's going on there.
Said he was ready to go week 1, but
Would
you prefer Tariq Cohen in there or?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
I just
Tariq
feel like
Cohen
that's
and
not really
Jordan
diversifying
Howard.
myself or diversifying my lineup.
Like I was looking at your team yesterday because I need to make a trade. And like you need to get rid of one of your defenses, dude.
No,
Like you can't stash 2 defenses.
I totally can.
And they're not
totally
even,
legal.
they're not even good defenses.
They are fantastic.
The only one that good there is New Orleans, and like I wouldn't even start them.
Against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Dude, that's a
Oh
money
no,
matchup.
I mean like at start them. I just mean like if you're gonna keep New Orleans, you have to get rid of Chicago.
Maybe.
You can't have a 3-person bench with Sony Michel.
Yes, I can.
He's injured.
Yeah, but there was rumors about him starting in week 1. He might be ready to go for week 2. He's kind of like my stash away guy, you know? Like he might be like that.
You know what?
He's going to be Michael Leslie or however you pronounce his name.
This is fine because you're
LeGarrette Blount.
Finley was the one who wanted 4-person benches, and if he wants to stash 2 defenses, then that's his.
I'm feeling comfy.
That's his death. But anyways, there's no weak spots in this lineup.
That's no way to treat a number 2.
No, I'm just,
number 2 in the power rankings.
You could have been the 1.5 if he had a proper bench, maybe.
Ho ho.
But anyways, quarterbacks good, wide receivers good, running backs good, nothing great, but that's why he's number 2, because there's no bad or question marks involved, except for his bench. Question marks.
I just gotta say, I'm the most complete team in the league. I mean, I don't see any major weaknesses at any position, but I'm definitely not the best at anything. I just felt like it drafted for a mix of upside and stability.
And this is why this league was hard to rank, is because every team basically, except for yours and like Logan Norley's team, I guess, like everyone had either really good or really bad in some categories. Yeah, like Hayden's team, for example, 1-6-12, so best and worst in the category. Peter's team that was ranked tied for 3rd. He was 12-3-2.
Just
so he had the
dominant
second,
at running
third
back
best,
and wide receiver.
Terrible
But
one.
I would actually rank Peter at 14.
Like Connor's team, 2nd at running back, 11th in both quarterback and wide receiver. Everyone was very contrasting. Yeah, it was contrasting rankings. You had 5s across the board. That's pretty safe. You might have a hole here and there due to injuries, but like it's something that's going to decimate you. So yeah, it was good. Let's take a look at your draft strategy here. Let's see if it's similar to your strip club strategy. Just wait it out.
Just slow and consistent.
Yeah. Just make them wonder why you're sitting there for so long with a blank stare.
It's art, man.
Eli in the 3rd pick for $5, eh? So you went hard and early on Eli. Surprised Rob didn't try and go for him at least.
I was shocked too, man. And frankly, like I actually nominated Eli. I was thinking, okay, either Rob is going to like bid this guy up, or Eli Manning is going to provide like a great backup role.
Yeah.
On my roster.
Yeah, Jordan Howard's decent for $30. Kamara I don't like. Keenan Allen's okay for $41. I like Keenan Allen as a player. Like him as a fantasy player. $41 is in the range, I guess. 40-45. Stafford great for $12. Hogan's good for $19. Tariq Cohen wouldn't pay $7. Marquise Goodwin really good for $8. I like that for $8.
I buy that for $1.
Outside that, I think a lot of these $4 guys you could have just waited and got some as good or better guys for $1 or $2.
Huh.
Sony Michel, I don't think is gonna be fantasy relevant this year. Chris Thompson I like, but it's gonna be more of it later on, not right now, which is fine. Joku $4, don't like it.
You don't like Joku, eh?
I like other tight ends like George Kittle. for free. George Kittle. Telling you, draft George Kittle in all your leagues. Pick him up. I would pick him up right now if I had a bigger bench. And if I didn't already have Kyle Rudolph, who I think is equally as good this year. And because Kyle Rudolph's healthy, George Kittle has a slight injury.
A little bump and bruise.
Yeah. You drafted 2 defenses.
Okay, so the LA defense, that was actually by auto draft. Wasn't paying attention. But New Orleans, I'm a big fan of them this season. I think that
you wasted 2 roster spots.
I know. And you know what? I maybe I overreacted to the Bears news, but I want to see how this unit produces. And
yeah, all right.
I'm just not a big fan of streaming. I'm feeling good. Feeling good.
That's not your team. So yeah, Philly's team. Although it's not a world burner by any means.
Number 2, baby.
Number 2, because I would say he's the most likely to be second place, but not the most likely to be first place. He's not going to go out there and put up his 14-0 season. 14-0 season.
13-0.
But he could go like 9-5 or something. His team doesn't.
This is a 9-5 team, babe.
His team doesn't have the top end potential, but it has the very high floor. All right, let's move on to the champ. The champ's champ, the best,
the greatest. The champ according to your rankings. Let's not get confused. It's been a few years, man.
The greatest that's ever lived. Ranked number 1, as you can see.
Just a question about the Ming Dynasty. Don't you have to string together a few ones to make it a dynasty?
Yeah, I'm allowed an off here, man. If you go look in my league history over the last 5 years, I never missed the playoffs in 35 leagues, 30-ish leagues.
Yep.
Till last season, where I missed
Sleeper
quite
boy
a few,
incarnate.
but never missed the playoffs in this league.
You were definitely competent.
This league I got by with just above average managing. I had a bad drunk draft. After that, I just had to make up for some mistakes. This year though, my team's on point. It's the team I've dreamed of. It's a team I stuck by the strategy. I didn't let anything waver me. Only drank 1 fat tug. Ate some food beforehand to keep me postured and composed. So let's go with this team. This team's great.
First thing I'd like to note is I thought Cam Newton was a great matchup. If there's any quarterback that not matchup, but great pickup.
Yeah.
If there's any quarterback that I'm going to spend $30 on in a auction draft for a 4-point passing touchdown league, it's Cam Newton.
Did I pay $30?
You paid something like
19. I paid 19.
No fucking way.
I paid 19
Fuck.
bucks. Yeah, you didn't pay 30
Oh, that's
bucks.
value. Okay.
Right?
So I just want to say Cam Newton is money because he's going to be running in 6-point touchdowns quite a bit this season, and those really add up. He's a difference maker for sure in a 4-point passing league.
Which is what I thought of. And Ben Roethlisberger, first year he's had 2 good receivers.
Yeah.
Since Mike Wallace or Emmanuel Sanders and Antonio Brown.
Mm-hmm. Major upside with AJ Green. I mean, you got him for $30 or something like that. You got Brandon Cooks for under $20.
16.
And then of course you got your crown jewel in Michael Thomas, who I think could have a very, very good year.
Michael Thomas, 1,245 yards, 104 catches in a year where we're saying this was Drew Brees' worst year in a decade.
Think about it, people.
In a year when they ran the ball in a higher percentage than any other year in the last decade.
Huh.
Drew Brees is going to throw the ball this year.
There's no ball out.
There's no more Willie Snead. There's only a shitty Cameron Meredith, who's on the trading block, by the way, if anyone would like him. Michael Thomas is going to catch 100 balls again. And he went from how many touchdowns? He had 5 touchdowns last year. He had 12 the year before. Let's see, confirming. 9 touchdowns the season before with 92 catches in his rookie year.
And then how many did he have last season?
5.
Okay.
So it got cut in half. So he regressed in the touchdown department, but
there's probably going to be some positive regression then. I got to say, this is an exciting roster. However, You definitely went 0 RB here.
Here, like, I gave myself 11th rank because of the numbers put up last year and where those players are ranked. Not based on upside. These are both upside picks because of opportunity they had last year and what their opportunity is now this year. Kenyon Drake is the guy in Miami.
Yeah, I mean, Adam Gase saying he's probably going to be out there for 75% of snaps. That's
everyone's worried. Oh, Frank Gore, man, Frank Gore in Miami.
Or what's his name, Ballage? Who cares? He wasn't that great.
Frank Gore ain't touching the ball, man. He averages like 2.8 yards a carry. Kenyon Drake last year, what is that? Over 5 yards a carry. Kenyon Drake, 32 catches on 48 targets. Kenyon Drake only started like the second half of the year. Kenyon Drake is going to be the steal of the draft. Kenyon Drake, according to my friend that I've never met, just listened to his podcast, Chris Harris is the number 1 flag player of the year. Kenyon Drake is this year's...
By the way, I was watching that video. What the hell does flag player mean?
Like, plant your flag in the field and be like, this is the guy. He's the number 1 guy this year. He is the guy. Kenyon Drake. Remember the name. Mm-hmm. This year's J.J. Lamar Miller, when they broke out with Miami, Kenyon Drake is a better, more talented version of
I think he's a great value, man. Now who else do you have? Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry, Deion Lewis will be catching the passes. That's fine. But guess who gets the goal line work? Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry is talented. Was a top running back out of college. Was the man. Am I worried about Deion Lewis? Fuck no. Because Derrick Henry is getting the carries. Derrick Henry, when he had the ball last year, unreal. Anytime he would get over 15 carries, he had over 100 yards.
Now, out of camp is saying that they're saying that he wasn't that great. I mean, he's gonna be the guy in Tennessee, but
But
is he gonna be that like super high upside guy that you're relying on to get 20 points?
I bought these high upside guys, but unlike some managers out there, I didn't just leave them. I bought insurance. Marshawn Lynch.
I think he's a high floor, low ceiling kind of guy.
Jamal Williams. Go look at any stat last year from Jamal Williams when he was a starter. Aaron Jones was out for multiple games. If Jamal Williams dominates, which he could, maybe, possibly, probably not, but maybe, could be a starter all year. So I basically have a guy who can start for 2 to 3 weeks. And then Marshawn Lynch, who's Marshawn Lynch?
I mean, they're stopgap guys, but this is like the flex tape of stopgaps. It's very reliable, and I think like you don't have to really worry about it too much. I mean, those RBs are pretty ugly, but they aren't like
they're not bad.
They're not.
They're sleeper, high upside guys. They're not first and second rounders. They're not, hey, I've done it before guys. They're guys who this time next year might have been like this time next year. Derrick Henry, Kenny Drake could be guys that were like second round, third round picks. Kenny Drake could be a first round pick possibly. He's got that kind of talent at least. They're just not there yet. Like, who would be an example from last year? I don't even know. Who did we draft low last year that got drafted in the top rounds this year?
Draft low?
Yeah.
Who was a bust or who was
who broke out?
Alvin Kamara?
Well, that was a rookie though.
Michael Crabtree.
No, like running backs, dude. Come on.
Running backs. Okay. Just trying to think here.
Like, who was a backup, got the starting job, ran with it? I don't know. Just look at it. Anyways, we'd have to find him.
You know there's a guy out there.
Talent and opportunity equals fantasy points. They have the talent. Now they have the opportunity.
I
Derrick Henry had DeMarco Murray. Kenny Drake had Jay Ajayi. Want to see some game logs from Mr. Kenyon Drake? Oh no. I'm breaking it.
Drake.
This has got to be one long ass commute to listen to this. Kenyon Drake. I'm assuming, I can't remember, when's the trade deadline? When did Jai leave? Anyways, 9 yard or 7.7 average, 11.7 average. Became the starter in week 13. Boom. 5.2, 4.6, 4.9, 4.4, 5.4. Caught 3, 3, 5, 6. Like, come on. That's in a Miami offense with no Ryan Tannehill.
No, they had Jay Cutler, man.
Jay Cutler.
The savior.
The savior.
See, that's why you have such crazy numbers there. Smoking Jay, baby.
Smoking Jay. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. These are like I'm putting my chips on them, hoping they pan out. So,
anything that you'd like to add to your roster or comment on?
No, just
I think it's a solid roster. I think overall, if you just go back to the standings here.
The
standings ranking, should I say?
That's what I'm on.
Excuse me. I think that for the most part, everybody has a chance to compete this season. It's going to be really hard to create tiers. I think that me and Ming are kind of in our own tier at the very top. Unraw Talent to Huskers are probably, in their own tier. And then KerryonMyWaywardSon to Golden Taint, they're in their own tier. Oh, and don't forget Rob's Lads as well. Oh, this isn't even in order.
No, it's not.
Damn. But frankly, I think every team has a chance at competing this season except for Graydon.
Who else is Unraw Talent in tier 2?
Yeah, tier 2.
Who else was in his tier?
Tied 3. Oh.
Let's not even try and do this.
Oh, BC Lions belongs there. 2. Average shows 2.
Yeah, the tiers are rather big. There was not a lot of discrepancy in the middle tier, but there was some worse teams for sure. Actually, you know what? Yeah. No, let's do.
Oh.
Let's do this.
Okay.
Those 2 and 3. I think. No, we can give them 2. But then there was 4. We'll even put honestly, I kind of like this team better than Dustin's, but we'll give Dustin 3. There's not any teams.
I still think Captain. I think Connor belongs in 3.
You know what? Fuck you, Peter. Your quarterback's too shitty.
I think we have to go back to Captain Canada. I think he's a 3, and then Graydon specifically.
You know what?
Oh,
this is my thing saying bye bye. Well, we won't even try and do these tiers. The ranks are here. We went through them. If you disagree, I can't wait to see your power rankings. I wish there was more banter, but there's only so much we can do. Not a lot of material yet. Don't see you guys enough. When I do see you, it's not Rob at a draft. Any last remarks from you, Finley?
Adam Finley signing out.
What?
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Sparkle.